You know you can't control it. Shake that ass and shake that mullet. If you're sexy and you know it, run your fingers through it, pull it. Yeah, you know you can't control it. Shake that ass and shake that mullet.
Hey, what's going on, Mullet Army? Hopefully the hair is flowing nicely. Today we're going to talk about niches. Both are correct, I guess. So I'll say both of them. You need a niche, no matter what you do, whether it be blogging, YouTube, podcast, anything at all, really. You need a topic to talk about. You could go from a broad niche, so you have a number of topics to talk about, and you'll always have ideas, or you can narrow your niche down to a more specific idea. An example, instead of sports in general, you can narrow it down to a certain sport, wrestling, football, basketball, or even a team like Team USA, Denver Broncos, Lakers, or whatever you want. Picking a single niche is easier to rank for and most likely monetize faster, but limits you. Also, if you get bored of an idea or your interest change, then you would have to start completely over. And if you put months in, years in, you might not want to do that. Uh, but if you do multiple niches, you have topics for years, but it's hard to rank on Google because Google doesn't know what is quality. If you're talking about camping, then you're talking about sports, then you're talking about travel. So if you're going to pick multiple, I would pick camping, hiking, stuff like that, where you can kind of go a few different ways and it's still kind of around the same type of topics and ideas. Um, Other way is if you want to, you can rank on Google if you make a new site or podcast uh, for each, which could be costly. And if you're listening to me, I know I don't have the money to do 5 or 6 different websites and stuff like that. I also don't have money to pay people to do research and different things. So it's easier for me to do that many at a time. So if you got the money, that might be one way to look at it or go. So what is a niche? Put into terms for anyone to understand. A niche breaks down to pretty much what topic you are going to blog about, make videos or podcasts, anything like that. Examples, like I said, fitness, wellness, tech, personal finance. Now, those are pretty broad. If you want to narrow it even more, you could go down to home workout ideas, diets for diabetics, side hustles that you can do on the weekends. The list goes on and on. So take some time and figure out what you want to do. Picking a niche could ultimately make or break you what you plan on doing. So you want to make sure you take enough time to really think about what you want to do, because once you're committed. Unless you want to start all the way over and lose months or years of work, you really want to take the time to research it. While some bloggers simply write about whatever pops in their mind, that's not the that's not a great blog strategy or for long-term success. That also goes for podcasting as well as YouTube or whatever you decide you want to do. Especially if you want your blog to eventually generate, and I just use blog just because it's the easiest thing, but I mean all of it. To eventually, if you want it to eventually generate income and become something more than just an online diary with a small handful of readers tuning in for your musings. When you're choosing a blog niche, you want to pick a topic area that you can write about weekly or even daily for years to come. A lot of people don't see any monetization for months to even years, depending on how fast, how good, how the quality is, how's your SEO, stuff like that. If you get too narrow, if you get too narrow, like phone cases for Wonder Woman, only won't it won't like me. It won't make it very long before you run out of things to do with that niche. There's not much. I mean, that's that's a little too narrow, but you get my point. Although starting a blog in a less competitive niche may seem appealing at first, it may not be the best long term strategy. Now, while you may initially have less competition, You may also find it challenging to find enough inspiration for your content, attracting customers, and may become bored creating the same type of content and designs over time. This can make it difficult to sustain your blog and grow your audience over months and years if you're not into it and it's way too narrow. If you would broaden that a little, where you talk about all DC slash Marvel characters and sell different merchandise, or you would fare a lot better and be able to make so many more merchandise you can sell or write about. Now, I understand DC and Marvel probably have a uh, copyright, trademark, all that stuff. I'm just using it as an example, especially starting out. You probably wouldn't have any issues, but you wouldn't want to risk it. Like I said, it's just an example. Now you have to watch being too broad, and you will never rank, and will probably give up in frustration. So, like if you just did fitness and just did everything related to fitness, y- you're probably not gonna rank. People aren't gonna be on your site. And like I said, you'll probably, if you're not seeing anything with putting in tons of work, you're gonna probably quit. I mean, I probably would, and I hate to say that, but I probably would. So you kind of want to you split it. You don't want to be too narrow. You don't want to be too broad. So pick something like in between that you can have topics on for, like I said, years or months, without getting bored, without thinking, well, crap, I have no more. I have nothing else to talk about. Uh, so how do you figure out what you want to do? One way is to write down a list of all the things you're interested in. What do you love to do or talk about? Wrestling, sports, working out, self help, motivation, stuff like that, personal finance, chat GPT, that's huge right now. Stuff like that for me. Jot down all the things that you're most interested in, whether or not you think it would be make a good blog niche. Uh, we're just thinking about all the possibilities at this stage. So anything and everything, write it down. It's fine if some of your niche ideas feel very general and others weigh in as more specific niche. No ideas are bad ideas at this stage. And if you check what I'm saying, I'm doing niche and niche here and there for people that like one or the other. Once you're looking at your list, you'll probably find that some of your ideas would make better blog niches topics than others. Um, and that's fine. You may even find that there's one potential blog niche that in particular that stands out for you. Put a star next to it and come back to it after you go down your list. You might have out of 50, you might have 5 stars. Number two, think about the blogs, magazine, books you read. Do you have any favorite blogs that you read regularly? What magazines have you subscribed to? Have you read any good nonfiction books lately? All that stuff. You got to start thinking about that. Um, Now, this is off topic a little bit, but you need to start looking around in your everyday life. What are the problems that are out there that you're having or someone else is having? Is there anything there to help that problem? And if not, how can I do something to fix that problem? Anyways, back to it. Your reading preference may reveal a common interest or theme that you could use in inspiration for your blog. Uh, Take notes on the topics and headlines of the websites in your niche, magazine, and books you have read, even if they're not related to blogging or YouTubing or podcasting. Reviewing them may help generate ideas for your blog niche. If you're having trouble coming up with headlines, try using blog title generators. They're out there on the webs on Google or whatever. Just type it in. You'll find plenty of them. Some probably are paid. Some are free. If you have any problems, contact me and I'll see if I can help you. They can generate numerous ideas for articles. Uh, excuse me. List number three. List your past jobs, hobbies, experiences. Using hobbies to find a blog niche to write about. Record all the jobs you've held during your life. You don't have to go crazy, even if they appear unremarkable. Additionally, consider your interests outside of work. Perhaps you have a passion for gardening, miniature war games, D&D, playing an instrument. You're involved in several amateur sport teams, soccer teams, BJJ, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, anything like that. Make a list of all these activities. Even if you don't want to blog about your actual job or talk about your job, you may find that certain aspects of your job or hobbies are worth of blogging. If you're a mechanic, you know what I mean, plumber, stuff like that would come in handy to do DIY stuff, videos and tutorials, stuff like that. You, for instance, I mean, you might also work as an editor for a magazine company, playing a band on the weekends, all that. Enjoy photography and painting. In this scenario, it may make sense to select a blog niche that emphasizes creativity. If you've had previous blogging employment, I'm sure none of us have, or most of us won't. If anyone even listens, reflect on the type of content you enjoyed writing about the most. If you do, list significant things you've accomplished. Many successful blogs teaches a lot of people how to do something. What significant accomplishments have you had? Perhaps you've had, you were able to lose weight and keep it off. You're a world champion wrestler. You got out of debt. You've ran a marathon or two. Managed to stay married. I know that's a crazy one, a funny one, but it's true. So many people get divorced nowadays. It's rough. So I mean, that's an accomplishment. All these are accomplishments that other people would love to have, really, and you could blog about how you achieved them. Another thing is run through a list of popular topics. If you're still stuck searching for an idea, here's a list that isn't likely to go out of style anytime soon. I'll give you um, personal finance, of course. I mean, that's huge, especially now the way our economy is, including issues like debt, increasing income, trading stocks, crypto, reducing expenses, investing, navigating the stock market, health and wellness. Huge range of areas here: weight loss, mental health, alternative therapies, parenting. That's another one. The way our kids are there today, with all the social media and just this is for another day, and probably not for this, but like all the things going on, are they boys, are they girls, whatever, all that stuff. Like, I mean, parenting's hard. I got two, and it's hard with everything that's going on these days. What they're exposed to at school, on social media, TikTok, all that stuff. So you can have it stages from babies to toddlers, school kids, teens, adult kids, different parenting methods. Another big one is self improvement, which could be targeted at different age groups: college students, midlife professionals, retirees, different philosophies or styles. I mean, anything you can think of, building websites. You can incorporate technical skills if you're into that. Uh, how to make a website, what's the best website builder. The list goes on and on and on. Also, while it's not ideal to pick a blog niche simply for the sake of market demands, you may find something on that list jumps out as a topic to explore blogging about, and eventually making your way into a more concerted niche over time. Uh, if you answer these questions right now in order to fully evaluate your potential blog niche, you'll kind of see where you're at and go from there. Um, Question one of these questions you need to ask yourself: are you interested enough in this blog niche? Like I said, I said blog, but it just makes it easier for anything you do. What I mean by it is, do not pick a niche because you read it about how Tony is making 30,000 a month on a certain topic. Most likely, Tony has been doing this for years and years, or has enough money to have writers to do it for him, and spend a crap ton before actually seeing anything on marketing, ads, all that stuff. So if you're like me, pick one that you are passionate about, and most likely it'll keep. And if you keep at it, you could see a return. I'm not saying 30K a month is typical or anything, but aim for a few thousand extra for now, so you don't get discouraged. But consistency is the key here. My goal is 5,000. That sounds pretty easy to do. Of course, right now, I'm not gonna lie, it's zero. But I just started. And this is what it's for. This is to keep me and you accountable. Like, hey, he started just like me. And now that I'm saying this stuff, I have to keep on course for you guys. Question two: do you know enough about this blog niche? This isn't a huge deal if you pick a niche that you didn't have much knowledge in. If you're anything like me, I'm not an expert at anything, it feels like. So you have to pick something, right? Downside of not knowing much about it is that you have to put in work, researching, which takes a good amount of time. I mean, hours upon hours, depending on what it is. You could use Chat GPT or something along those lines to speed up this process, of course. So it's a trade off. Again, you could pay someone to do all this for you, but if you're listening to me, then most likely you don't have the money, and I'm in the same boat. So don't feel bad. I'm there. I'm right there with you. I'm rowing that boat with you right beside me. Uh, so a little bit of elbow grease here will do the trick, or really a lot of elbow grease. Uh, Also, you want to make sure you're helpful. So having a little knowledge is helpful. So if you want to take a class or read a book or watch YouTube videos or something, so you have some kind of knowledge, because you want to be able to be helpful. Question three: is there a paying audience for this niche? Excuse me. This question is why 99% of us are here. It's why I'm here. I'm not a blogger, YouTuber, podcaster just to do it. I'm so busy with life, with two kids, work when I'm working, stuff like that. Like it's fun and nice, but I want to make money off of it. So show me the money. So you don't want to pick a niche. Let's say something about pet rocks. You most likely won't have a huge audience on the subject. Another question to ask is: are there any books or magazines related to this? And that means books and magazines that actually have reviews and is visible to people. You don't. I mean, there's plenty of books out there that no one's ever read, no one's ever heard of. That just because it's out there doesn't mean anything. Anyone is actually paying for anything. Are there products or services aimed at this audience? Let's say you're considering the blog needs new parents of twins, which is based on your own experience. There are definitely products aimed at parents of twins. Uh, Actually, any product aimed at any parents could work. This existence of a lot of products is a sign that there's a paying audience out there, especially when starting out. Like YouTube, you have to have 4,000 hours, so many subscribers. So affiliate marketing is another thing we can get into. That might be a start to start seeing income and stuff on YouTube, even on your blogging or whatever. Affiliate marketing is a pretty big part of the pie, especially starting out. Uh, Affiliate marketing is a great way to monetize your blog, especially if there's a heavily reviewed product or service in your niche. Um, Question four: how many people are searching your blog niche? If you haven't already come up with any keywords, now's the time to learn how to do keyword research. What would people search for to find the type of content you're going to write about or the type of products you're going to sell? Some tools are SEMrush, Answer the Public, Uber Suggest, Ahrefs, which is Ahrefs, Google Keyword Planner. I mean, there's tons of lists goes on, but those are some of the top ones. I can provide a list to click on them if I figure out how. I'm still learning, but I want to try to help you out. Once you've got some keywords in mind, it's also important to check how popular those keywords actually are. Make sure you're targeting your own country plus any other large countries that are relevant. For instance, if you're in Australia, but you're planning to sell digital products that could be bought by a worldwide audience, you'll want to also target the US and probably the UK, so you can combine the combined level of searches for other English speaking countries. Any good research tool will also suggest tons of other related keywords that you can evaluate. I'm sorry, if some of them get way more searches than the keywords you'd previously thought of. Uh, you might want to shift your blog post ideas over to incorporate those higher priority opportunities first. What's a safe number of monthly searches to constitute a good blog niche? If you have a niche gets less than say 100 searches a month, you're gonna have some issues making any money there, since no one is really searching for us. But if you can combine all your top 10, 20 keywords and get a total of 100,000 to a million monthly searches, then you're definitely on to something there. But you got to also think that it's going to be very competitive. So what you got to do is go above and beyond. You know what I mean? You can't just do the bare minimum and think you're going to rank there. Question 5: Is the niche likely to be around for years to come? That's pretty simple. While some blogs do manage to succeed while focusing on uh, certain trends, it takes time to build a popular blog. You don't want to end up starting again, as I said, from scratch after 6 months. So aim to pick a blog that's niche, that's going to be around for years to come. So picking something from 2023 World Championships won't last. Of course, it most likely would get very little searches even in 2023, let alone 2028, 29, 30. Question 6: Is there a moderate amount of competition or more in your blog niche? You might think that a good niche, some shouldn't have too much competition, but the opposite is true. If you have the competition, that means it could be very lucrative. If no one's there, unless it's untapped and you just got lucky, most likely that means there's no audience for it. Uh, I always worry about how I can compete with these people that have 1,000 of articles and many writers. The simple answer is do what they do, but do better. As I said, be more precise, explain better. They say top 10 online tools, do top 15, add more pictures, videos. It'll be hard to stay. It will be hard, but staying consistent will, you will eventually see some growth. That's the thing. Consistency is key. I've said it earlier and I'll say it again. I'll probably say it a few more times. Consistency is key. If I can even spit it out right. Like I said, I'm new to this, nervous still. Hoping I give the right information and you guys take it and run with it. Question 7: Is a blog topic trending upward on Google Trends? Google Trends is a handy way to get a snapshot of public interest and potentially popular blog topics. Just type in your keyword and you can see whether it's becoming more or less popular over time. Best avoid a blog topic that's becoming steadily less popular, unless you have good reason where it's going to bounce back up or something. I would say crypto is one of those. Crypto got hit hard. Not many people were really concerned about it, but I'm thinking it's going back up. Um, if the interest in one is static, that's probably fine. But the idea scenario is a niche that's trending upwards, which of course that's common knowledge. Question 9: Does your niche suit evergreen content? Blog content can be divided into two broad categories: evergreen and news. Evergreen content remains relevant for years to come, as we said, though it'll need to be updated over time. News content might be highly interesting for a short period of time, but quickly fades as other events transpire. So something happened today where LSU won the NCAA women's basketball, and a huge fiasco that's going on there. Next week could be something with President Biden or President Trump that takes that focus away, and then all that you did is not going to get any hits on it. But there are plenty of news articles to keep you busy, but evergreen content will help you grow easier. Instead of having to constantly publish new content to attract readers, your evergreen content can work hard at bringing people to your blog, even after you posted years to come, depending on what it is. 4 smart ways to validate your blog niche idea before you launch, so you know if it's going to be a good idea or not. You chose one, you're pretty confident. Will give you a chance to monetize the site. Uh, there are plenty of other blogs, books, and magazines and products related to it. If there's stuff like that, then that's a good thing. It's something you're genuinely interested in, but will you actually enjoy blogging about it? That's another thing. Uh, so here's some tests that you can do to see if this would be a good niche to go with. Come with at least 50 ideas for blog posts in your niche. Set aside an hour for yourself, either an empty room, at home, quiet place, the gym, if that's wherever you feel comfortable at. Pick up a notebook and pen and write down as many blog post ideas as you can, and aim at least for 50. If you have 50, that's great. If you get 10, 5, 10, and you're lost, and you got to look online and there's not many more, it might not be a great interest to have for that niche. Um, Now, you might be able to use that and start transitioning to something else, but that's kind of risky. It doesn't matter if some of the ideas seem a bit generic or if you've seen them done elsewhere before. Just trying to get as long as a list as you can. If you get bored halfway through this exercise, or if you run out of ideas to 50, then that's a sign right there. I mean, you should know that if you're already bored and you haven't even started writing anything yet, it might not be the niche for you. Because if your blog begins to get traction, you'll eventually be writing a hell of a lot more than just 50 articles. So you might want to enjoy it. Test two, write a couple of guest posts in your blog niche. Once you organize a few lists of ideas, choose a couple that you'd love to write about and find blogs that would be interested in hosting an article from you. You can go to their website. They usually have information on where you can contact them and see if they'll. Now, you might get 50 no's and a few yeses, and that's fine. Just consistency is key. Uh, but trying to get with people in your field or whatever, usually most of them will like to help you. There's going to be a few that see you as competition and they don't like that, but they're self-conscious about themselves and maybe not thinking they're a great writer or whatever, and that's fine. You can also, as a low barrier option, you can set up a free Medium account or take to LinkedIn and write your test guest post there to see how people in your network respond. It's going to be hard if you don't have a network to see if it really takes off or not, but if it's good, you probably see some traction. Um, if you find it tricky to write these early guest posts, if you don't really enjoy it, or the feedback is surprisingly negative from the audience you get in front of, then it might be a good sign to rethink your blog. Test three, start a Facebook page or group about your blog niche. This is another free one, which I like. Forward, and a good way to test it. You want to give this page or group the same name as you intended in future blogs. So you can use it as your blog's eventual Facebook page if you do go ahead with this niche. This page or group is a great destination to share interesting links, ask questions, share tips related to your niche. You can attract a decent number of fans or group members to come and interact with you here. You'll also find a continual source of new content ideas. This is another one. If you don't have a following, it might be hard to build it. But which I'm a little nervous for because I'm not real good about this. Share with your family and friends and stuff like that. I get embarrassed easy. So I tend to not, and it's probably going to hurt. But go ahead and do that if you can. And if you enjoy posting there and you start to build a bit of traction with some likes, comments, and shares, then that's a great sign, of course. Test four, draft 5 sample blog posts related to your niche. Uh, Finally, once you make it this far, it's time to start outlining blog posts, write those articles to really test your mettle. See if you can write 5 sample articles related to your niche. They don't have to be perfect, and you don't need to publish them anywhere for now. But you should at least complete the task of challenging yourself to create a few pieces of content you can stand behind and feel comfortable publishing within the niche you're considering blogging about. An example, a series of articles about web hosting is a test into a new blog niche. It includes pieces like early signs suggest that the new blog niche test is starting to return some positive results from a business. So we'll see how this coming year goes. Uh, if 5 sample posts feels like too many, or if you're bored after writing just one article in this niche, then it's worth reconsidering whether you'd really want to pick a blog niche where you have difficulty churning out content that excites you. Of course, if you do decide to go ahead and launch the blog in this niche, uh, you've now got an awesome head start. You already got 5 articles. So, hey, post them all and see how that goes. I would say probably do 5 or 10, maybe even 15 if you can, and then post them all. It'll be easier to rank and stuff. But if you're excited and just want to keep doing it one at a time, that works too. Um, So I hope this will help you pick your topic to do what you want with, or able to pick a few and hit it from different angles. If you have any questions or want to talk about anything else related to your niche, let me know. I hope you have a great weekend. We'll talk more on this next week. You guys have a great day.
You know you can't control it, shake that ass and shake that mullet. If you're sexy and you know it, run your fingers through it, pull it. Yeah, you know you can't control it, shake that ass and shake